more blast. Here we go. On this turn, you just feel the torque vector just like power through it. I mean, man, you get the backfire from the exhaust. I mean, this car just rips. It's so much fun.
Welcome to Drive Culture. I'm Jonathan Rivers, and today we have the 2024 Acura TLX Type S. And I'm going to tell you why the updates they made really make this an awesome sports sedan. So we'll go over the exterior, the interior, the powertrain, and of course, take it for a drive. So if this is content you're after or you're new to the channel, please be sure to click that bell to subscribe to come back for more. And with that, let's get after it. All right, so let's talk about the exterior design of the 2024 Acura TLX Type S. Now, admittedly, you might have seen the A-Spec review we've done on our channel. If not, be sure to watch that because actually the A-Spec got more styling updates than the Type S during this mid-cycle refresh. But they did make some changes, so let's go right into it. One of the first things you're going to notice, especially if you're familiar with the TLX design, is that they changed the front grille on the car. So they went to what Acura calls a frameless diamond pentagon grille. Now, for the Type S version, it still gets this exclusive, what they call open surface diamond mesh grille. And it looks awesome. Like, it looked really good on the TLX before the refresh, but what they changed really takes it over the top. One of the things that they did change was the old TLX kind of had this like plastic shield over the Acura logo. And that was for the front radar, for all the safety technology. But they updated the radar for 2024, and because of that, they were able to get rid of that shield and really clean up the whole Acura logo design. Also, what they did, and we'll kind of talk more about the features and technologies, is specific to Type S, they added a 360 surround camera. So you can see that front camera actually over the Acura caliper logo. You still get the Type S in the grille though, that looks awesome, but man, just changing that grille design alone really changes the entire styling of the front end. Outside of that though, the whole front fascia, that, Type S exclusive lip, all that's carryover from before. But maybe you're noticing the new color, right? So this is not only a new color for TLX and TLX Type S, but a new color for Acura. So they call this Urban Gray Pearl. And it looks fantastic, right? So it's kind of that like seal gray, right? It's kind of like a gloss gray. But if you really get up close, you'll see all kinds of like yellow flake and pearl in the paint. So it really looks awesome. And I think it looks fantastic on the TLX Type S. So let us know down in the comments below, what do you think of the new color? What do you think of the design changes? As we make our way to the side of the vehicle, you'll see that they didn't make any other changes to the, to the headlights. Still got that Acura jewel eye, that chicane daytime running light. But once we get on the side here, you're gonna notice right off the bat that the wheels are different for Type S. So they did an all new wheel design, and it comes with these all season tires. Previously, you can option for a summer tire on the Type S. That's no longer. You're gonna have to go straight to the dealer and ask for that setup if that's what you still want. But you get these 255, 35R, 20-inch wheels. And what they did is the new wheel design for 2024 in this Berlina black finish with the black lug nuts to set it off. So I think it looks fantastic. Of course, hiding behind there, like before, you got these 4-piston front Brembo brakes painted in red. Says Acura, says Brembo. Really, really nice touch. So honestly, guys, on the side of the car, that's really the only change that they made. I mean, you still get the Type S badging, you still get the black mirror caps, the black surround for the window treatments. But honestly, styling-wise, that's what they changed for 2024. And even as we make our way to the rear of the vehicle, you're going to see it looks like the TLX Type S that they had before. So as we're at the rear, let's talk about some of the designs. You get this awesome, rear decklet spoiler in gloss black. You can still option for this in a carbon fiber treatment, which is really awesome because one change there is it's actually in a gloss carbon fiber finish. Before the mid-cycle refresh, it was like in a matte finish. So again, let us know down in the comments below. Do you like matte carbon? Do you like the glossy carbon? For me, I like the glossy carbon. It looks awesome on the TLX Type S now. But again, they didn't change anything in the rear. You get the same full LED tail lights, the Type S badging. You still have the Acura logo with the rear view camera back there. TLX badging. And always one, kind of quirk and feature of the TLX Type S was the trunk release button. But we'll talk about that when we get to the cargo area. Down below, you still get that awesome quad exhaust finisher and a really cool rear diffuser design. So the exhaust on this car sounds amazing. It has an active exhaust valve that can open and close. You're going to hear more about that in the drive. But now that we've covered the exterior, let's go ahead and hop inside to talk about the interior. All right, here we are inside the TLX Type S. And it was already a pretty nice place to be. Lots of premium touch points and detailing inside. But they did make some changes for 2024, specific even to the A-Spec and the Type S. They actually added a lot more contrast stitching throughout the vehicle. You're going to see it on the door linings. It's kind of this French stitch, and it's got the contrast red for the red interior, or the orchid on the lighter color interior. They added it to the door linings. They also added it here on the lower part of this dash. They had it previously on top, but you get just a little bit more now with this mid-cycle refresh. But really, the big story inside, especially for the Type S trim, is the tech. So what they did is, they really made some changes to the infotainment. So first thing you're going to notice is right in front of you, you got a 12.3-inch digital instrument cluster, and it looks so good. I mean, admittedly, the previous gauge cluster that they had in there, it was an analog gauge, and it looked kind of premium, like dark, harkening back to older Acuras of the past. But honestly, the digital instrument cluster looks so good now. It gives you so much information, and it's completely configurable that this was obviously the way to go. So that's a big improvement. Also, the center screen here got a lot bigger. So it used to be 10.2 inches. Now that also grows to 12.3 inches. You're still using the Acura, true touchpad interface, they call it. So you still got to use the trackpad to use it. But to be fair, whether you like it or not, they actually made some enhancements to the computer behind the scenes to make it a lot faster. So it scrolls faster. You can go to pages quicker. And they even added a little shortcut for the ambient lighting in the car, because it looks so good in this car at night. You're not going to be able to see it here during the day. You have 27 different combinations of colors that you can use in the car, but before you had to kind of work your way through menus to get to it. Now it's on the front page. It's really easy to access and change those colors, so that's a really nice upgrade. Also, what they changed is now you get wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. So before you had to plug in, now you can do it wirelessly. And then the last thing, which is really nice, and I know a lot of Type S owners really wanted this, is there's a 10.5-inch full color head-up display on this. And again, it's not just a direct carryover. They actually have some new functionality, and even in the head-up display, it can display yield signs and stop signs in full color right in front of you. So again, really, really nice touch point. Other than that, everything else is pretty much the same as it was before this mid-cycle refresh. So flat bottom steering wheel, says Type S, contrast stitching, perforated leather, feels amazing in your hands. Around the car, again, really good materials. The seats, they're 16-way power for the driver and passenger, so you can even adjust the side bolster. So when you're going through some pretty aggressive driving, as you'll see shortly, that's really nice to have. Aluminum pedals down below. Again, this is a really nice place to be, but now that we've covered the front, let's go ahead and hop in the back. All right, here we are in the back seat of the TLX Type S. And again, I have myself in the actual driver position that I would be if I was sitting up front. So I like to sit close, and I gave myself a little bit more room. It is a little bit tight back here. We addressed that in the A-Spec review as well. Let us know down in the comments below if it's a deal breaker for you. It is a little bit tight. You do get this kind of hump in the floor too, right? It is an all-wheel drive car. We'll talk about the powertrain. But they did make a couple enhancements. Like I said, you still get that added contrast stitching on the door linings and back. You always had, vents back here. But what they added is you get 2 USB-C charge ports back here. So that combined with the USB charge ports in the center console gives you lots of connectivity. Plus you get a wireless charging pad up front as well. But other than that, they didn't make any changes. You can still consider it a 5-passenger vehicle. But again, like I said, it is going to be a little bit tighter back here. You do get the center armrest that drops down, 2 cup holders, and kind of a place to maybe store your phone, and of course a headrest. So it is a true 5-passenger vehicle, but honestly, if there's like small kids, maybe that works best. I don't think you're gonna fit 3 full adults back here. It'd be kind of tight. But honestly, as I look around again, I didn't talk about it in the front, but you got the speakers for the ELS studio system, right above your head, even in the back. And on the TLX, again, it didn't change for the mid-cycle refresh, but still gives you that 17-speaker ELS Studio 3D audio system, which just sounds incredible. It really does. So if you haven't heard it in this car, it's a good reason to consider TLX alone. So with that, that's the back seat. Let's go ahead and check out the cargo space. All right, guys, let's go ahead and check out the cargo space of the TLX Type S. Now, one thing to point out was they actually updated the key fob for TLX and TLX Type S at this refresh. So it's a really nice key design now. And this one, it actually says Type S on it. It's got a nice little red line that goes around it. And as part of a new feature set, you get the whole remote engine start. So that's really nice to have. But one of the things when you go ahead to open the trunk, of course, there's a little button that's kind of hidden in the right tail lamp in the back, but you can actually open it. And what's nice, as you'll see here, is it's actually spring loaded. So if I go ahead and pop the trunk, you can see it lifts all the way up. It's not power and it won't close by power, but at least this way, if you got something and you're carrying stuff, you just use the key fob and it pops open all the way for you. So that's really nice. Inside, there's 13.5 cubic feet of space. So considering the competitive set, it's actually really good, but obviously you're not going to get as much space as something like a Honda Accord that has a lot more space in it. But still, you do get 60/40 folding rear seats. However, with the Type S, there's bracing back there. They literally, it's like, they call it like an A-brace that, helps with body rigidity. That basically kind of blocks the pass-through of the car. So again, if you're gonna, put the seats down, you're gonna have to kind of slide things through that A-brace in the back. But if you lift up the panel in the back, you'll also find that, again, no compact spare here. You only get a tire repair kit, a TRK, and a very, very small cubby space. But that's about it in the back of the trunk. So with that, let's go ahead and talk about the powertrain. All right, here we are with the powertrain of the TLX Type S. Now, it didn't change for this mid-cycle refresh, so it's the same 3-liter V6 turbo engine. Now, it's a single turbo, but it's a twin scroll, right, to help, spool it up a lot faster. Still makes 355 horsepower and 354 foot-pounds of torque at just 1,400 RPM. So around town, this thing rips, as you'll see in the drive component. It's made it exclusively to Acura's 10-speed transmission. We'll talk about how that shifts and behaves inside. And TLX only comes as super handling all-wheel drive. So that's Acura's torque vectoring all-wheel drive system. It works wonders, not only in inclement weather, but just for putting the power down and actually creating kind of like an oversteer effect as you're driving as well. So there's no better way to talk about how it actually drives than to go ahead and hop inside. So let's go do that now. All right, here we are inside the TLX Type S. We're about to take this thing for a drive. So there's a few different drive modes, right? So right now we're in normal. There's also a comfort mode. So we'll start driving in that because this is really kind of the most laid back setting for TLX Type S. And it's pretty impressive, right? Because the car has the adaptive suspension that can adjust, whether it's kind of more soft or more, taut, kind of a firmer suspension. It also changes the steering wheel, the feeling there. And it also adjusts like the throttle and the engine notes. So like when you're driving this car in like comfort mode, it is pretty relaxed, honestly. Like I could see this being a great driving mode, just for daily driving around town. Pretty good compliance all around. You spin the dynamic mode dial here to the right. That gives you normal. And while the sound doesn't change, instantly you feel the suspension get just a little bit firmer. The steering also get just a little bit heavier, and you obviously get some changes to the digital instrument cluster and as well as the center screen as well. So some nice touches there. Then you turn it one more time, and now you're in sport mode, and everything kind of like turns red. The interior
interior lighting turns red. And again, just kind of, again, one more rank up. Now the suspension's even a little bit firmer, the steering's even a little bit more heavier, and again, a little bit more sound, not too much change yet. But again, that's where you kind of ramp things up to the top Sport Plus mode. So we'll change that here in a sec. So I want to talk about pricing here. So essentially you've got 45 grand to start with the technology package, and let us know down in the comments below if that's something you'd actually want to see on the channel. From there, you step up to the A-Spec, which is only super handling all-wheel drive. That's 50 grand. We've of course already reviewed that on the channel, so again, be sure to watch that video. And then you step up to this, the Type S. It's $57,000 MSRP. So it's a big step up, but again, it's a big step up in performance, feature content now with like kind of getting these extra, really like previously advanced level trims on the Type S. So, you know, let us know down in the comments below. Do you think it's worth it? Again, obviously there's cars like a Mercedes C43 or the BMW 340i in this segment as well. So let us know where you think the TLX stacks up against those competitors. Again, here I think it's a pretty good balance, and with the added content for the 2024 refresh, it definitely ups its game. So now that we got that out of the way, let's talk about Sport Plus. So you turn and hold the drive mode, and again, I don't know if you heard that, but right away the sound is where things really get ramped up in Sport Plus. What's cool though is even in the digital instrument cluster now, you get these like yellow gauge needles in Sport Plus, the whole graphics change, and it even brings up like a G meter as like a default setting, and that's really cool because not only do you got a G meter, you got like a sh-awd meter that shows the torque distribution and things like that. But again, it's a really cool gauge cluster change. And now again, the suspension is in its harshest setting, the steering's in its heaviest setting, and again, you can start to hear this, you know, just the sound of this car. It's so good. That V6 turbo, again, it does have the active exhaust valve that opens. Let's go ahead and see if I can get a little bit into it here. I'm kind of stuck in traffic right now. But one thing to note, kind of like A-Spec and kind of like the other trims, is you actually have this DS for the transmission. So if I'm in D right now, I put it in the S, and then instantly, again, you know, you kind of see an S in the digital instrument cluster. And what this will do is, again, this will allow you to kind of go into a manual mode for the transmission shifting. And it's really good because, again, the shifting is fast on this thing. So I'm still in S mode. I haven't gone into the manual setting, but man, the power in this car is good because I'm blasting up a hill and it's just effortless, right? Like that's the one good thing about this engine, right? Is like I said in the powertrain section, the torque is available from really down low. I mean, all you need is anything above 1400 RPM and this thing takes off. So again, I'm gonna come up to a little spot here where I can open it up a little bit. Again, you know, I don't know, Acura's never really said an exact 0 to 60 time, but the seat of the pants has got to be like high 4 seconds. Like this thing is quick. So here we go. You ready? So 60. So I mean, yeah, this thing gets up and it sounds good, and the shifts are fast. And if I do this, and I'm in the manual mode now, so that's M4 for 4th gear. You hear it just like revving out. Because any car can be fast, but this car has double wishbone suspension, that adaptive adjustable suspension, and it's just so well dialed in that like it just handles awesome, right? It feels so compliant, and it gives you a lot of confidence, right? That's the other thing about a good car is like, you know, it can have all the power in the world, but if you're not confident and you don't think you can hit the switchbacks, you know, going at it full blast, then it's not that fun. And again, I think that's where the TLX Type S really rips. I mean, again, I'm doing really good speed here, and I'm only in 5th gear. It's about 3,500 RPM, and then if I downshift twice, and you can do double downshifts, right? Just click the paddle twice, and then you just power out. And as I'm blowing through this turn, the super handling all-wheel drive has just got me kept in place. And what's interesting, and I think I've even mentioned this in the A-Spec review, is that honestly, the torque vectoring is so good that it can actually like create oversteer, right? And like power you around turns. So the back end actually like rotates. It's not dangerous, and it's not like, you know, oh my God, I'm losing control, but it's just like it creates additional excitement. And I think, again, that's what makes this car really, really special, is the authentic torque vectoring, you know, capabilities of that system. Combine that with the low torque, you know, coming down low, and the fast transmission, and you get a really, really awesome driving experience. So we're gonna go around this turn, we'll do one more little blast, and then we'll go ahead and wrap things up. But again, let us know down in the comments below, you know, are you a fan of the TLX Type S? Again, you know, are you thinking about this? Would you go with something in Acura's lineup like the Integra Type S? Or again, as I mentioned, are you going against some of those, you know, European competitors that I threw out there? I also did don't forget, you know, Genesis is out there now. They got the G70, and I know they made some updates as well. Of course, there's also other brands like Cadillac. So again, this segment is kind of going down. You know, mid-size sedans of this size are not as popular as they once were, but there's still a lot of great performance options out there, and I definitely think this ranks up there as well. So let us know your guys' thoughts down below, and yeah, let's go ahead and do one last blast before we wrap things up. All right, guys, here we go. We're gonna go one last blast here. I'm kind of going down a pretty big downhill here, but I mean, again, despite gaining some speed, like, you have no problem just like blowing past traffic if you need to. And again, the engine sounds good, the torque distribution's so good, the handling's amazing. Like, right as I'm plowing through this turn here, you don't even have to hit the brakes. Like, the torque vectoring just kind of like spins you around the turn. And like I said, again, it doesn't feel like scary or anything like that. It's just total control. And again, the other good things are these Brembo brakes, because like with just a little bit of a stab, you're able to scrub off some serious speed. And I either got a car trying to keep up with me, and it just can't, right? Because I'm going around this turn and I can stop on a dime. So despite that, you know, again, I think this car, again, it's going to be hard to keep up. There might be cars that are faster out there, but when you're going around the turns and the twisty bits, this car really stands out. So with that, again, a quick video, guys. Hope you enjoyed it, and we'll go ahead and wrap up this video.
All right, guys, that's a wrap. What did you think of the 2024 Acura TLX Type S? Is it enough performance for you? Is it really a true sports sedan? Or are you just maybe gonna save some money and go with the Acura TLX A-Spec? We've already reviewed that car on the channel, so be sure to check out that video. And again, let us know down in the comments below. Do you wanna see other competitors from this segment? There's obviously a lot of great cars out there. We're happy to bring it to you on this channel. And again, if you've joined us before, thanks for watching. But if you're new to the channel, please be sure to click that bell to subscribe to come back for more. And we'll see you at the next episode.